What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another lucky dip. And this one comes from Yvonne's collection. Big thank you to Yvonne. And in fact, she mentioned she had sent an 80s compilation to me a while back, but recently reshared this tune individually so I could do a lucky dip for it. And yes, we're going to listen to Oh Yeah Dance Mix by Yello. Now, if that's all the information I had for this, I really wouldn't know what to expect, because I don't think I've ever heard of that artist name, or at least don't recall having heard of it. However, she mentioned that this tune was featured in the soundtrack to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and with that piece of information, I think I know exactly what we're about to hear here, which is to say the tune that I think plays in a couple different places during the film when there's a bit of peril, when they're trying to avoid, being caught on their day off, but maybe most notably when the two valets are about to joyride Cameron's dad's car. And that is the tune with that almost Barry White style vocal, that oh yeah, and then the ch-ch-ch-ka. So yes, I think I know what we're about to listen to. I don't know that for sure, but I suppose we'll see. But if it is that track, it's not something I think I've ever heard outside the context of the film. I think I've only ever heard it while watching that film, which incidentally is one of my favorite films from my youth, even though it was marketed to young folk about 10 years older than me, essentially my sister's generation. But again, because I had older siblings, I ended up encountering a lot of music and movies that if I were an only child, or if I was the oldest child as a single-digit kid in the 80s, might not have come across my radar. So yes, it's a personal favorite film of mine, and I've seen it many times over the years. But as I said, as far as I know, and if I'm right about what this tune is, I don't think I've ever heard the full thing. And if it's a dance mix in an 80s sense, I would guess that there might be sections here that are not used in the film, in the sections where we hear it. So let's give it a listen. This is Yello, the track is Oh Yeah, and it's the dance mix. Oh. I don't recall this. There's definitely layers in this that I would never have recalled based on my memory of the track in the movie. I want to know if those are sampled vocals. They certainly sound like they're slowed down, meaning it might be a person with a deep voice, but it feels like they're reducing the speed and thus the tone or the pitch as well. And secondarily, I didn't remember any of those lines. He had to be like, "Oh, the moon is beautiful, and the sun even more beautiful." And what was the bit at the end there? There was like another bit, like the last line was something about like seeing it in your eyes. But yeah, I only remember the "oh yeahs" and the chicka chicka, which again, like I'm thinking of lines from the film. Now again, I don't actually remember precisely where the track is used in the film, although I do think we hear it more than once or twice. I think it's a recurrent theme throughout the film. However, it's making me think of a number of lines like, if I'm going to go down, it's not going to be to a guy like that, or the, 9 times, and they look inside his room. So yes, it's a movie that has immense nostalgic appeal to me, and one that I recall with great, 80s fondness. It does make me think of the 4 of them the 3 of them, what am I saying? Because it's Ferris, Mia Sara's character, who in the moment I'm forgetting her character name, and then Cameron, right? So I think it's just the 3 of them. Nevertheless, I'm thinking of them driving around in that car, which is later totaled, and it's a cool character arc for Cameron. But yeah, it's funny, in terms of the tune, it's pretty minimal. It's very stripped down, even though there's always something new happening. It's just that driving pulse and that deep bass and almost like a racing type of feel. Maybe I make that association because I think of the car in the film. But yeah, it has a very energetic, we're in the car, we're on the go type of sound. But there's some layers in there, like some keyboard, organ type layers, which give it a slightly different flavor and atmosphere for the moments that they're part of it. There's some cycling percussion that I didn't remember. This little, I don't know if it's a guitar, but it's some sort of stringed instrument. It's not even a full riff. It's these little touches along the way. And then there's that echoed vocal. I don't know exactly what it was saying in the latter stages. So there's parts along the way that I didn't recall. And it has a bit of a funky sound, funk blues, but it's in a very minimal sense. So it's a dance floor tune, and you can definitely hear that, again, with that pulsing kick drum and just the kind of 80s dance floor vibe of it. But it has a bit of a funk sound, and maybe it's the deep Barry White-like voice that gives it a bit of soulful funk at the same time. But as I said, in sort of a stripped-down minimal way. So yeah, it's a fun tune. I suppose if you have seen that film, there's no way to separate it. It's part of the experience of that film, even if in the moment I'm not entirely confident in exactly what parts it's used. Nevertheless, it's an iconic track. It's a tune that, if you've seen the film, and presumably, it may have been a notable single release. For that side of it, I was probably too young, because again, mid-80s, 85, I'm 4 or 5 years old, and I may at that point have had a couple Depeche Mode tapes, but I certainly wasn't going to music stores with my own money and, buying 7-inch singles or 12-inch singles and so on. So that's perhaps why I personally only know it from the context of the film. But maybe this was a big hit at the time, and it's, it was tearing up club dance floors. So I look forward to hearing people comment in that regard. Do let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.